How's it going, everybody? This is No Room for Comfort, and I am your host, Jesse Waterhouse. And this is the podcast where we talk about personal growth, self confidence, self worth, and basically any positive aspect related to any part of life. So, thank you all for joining me. If you're watching right at this moment, this is my live session podcast, which does get recorded and put on Spotify after the fact, along with every other episode that I have. But you're watching me either on YouTube or Twitch. I also have a Discord open, No Room for Comfort podcast Discord, that you can join in on chat. And all of my social links are in the bio, so go check them out. Please like, subscribe, and share. Again, thank you for joining me. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the positive net benefits of adversity. So, yeah, you heard that right, the positive net benefits of adversity, as well as that negative stigma that adversity has behind it that isn't quite as harsh as a lot of people may think it is. So, and this podcast is going to be a little bit different because in the past, my other episodes were kind of mainly research based, where I didn't go off the cuff about how those topics were related and things like that. This one's going to be more of like my own words and aura that surrounds basically my experiences and how I feel about adversity and what it has been in my life. And maybe I can learn from some of you as well as you learn from me off of, this experience, this world of adversity that we're about to dive into. This is a great topic for me. So I'm just going to start off by sharing just an example of this adversity that I've kind of, sort of faced. And this stems from right out of high school. So when I was growing up and towards the tail end of high school, things kind of weren't the greatest. So I was about to graduate high school and I had a lot on my mind. I thought, am I going to further my education? Am I going to get to work right away? What am I going to do with my life? I had dreams and aspirations, and I decided, there's something that I'm going to hone in on that I feel like I'm going to really enjoy and want to do. So I'm going to further my education to get a degree in it and go on from there and get a good job and just, have all these future plans, future goals in mind. But at that time, my mother wasn't in the picture, and it was 2008, and my father was going through a hard time with work. And if you're old enough, a lot of you know how 2008 kind of went for a lot of people. The economy was very terrible and the housing market crashed. What ended up happening was, my father unfortunately couldn't hold on to his job, and foreclosure was we're facing foreclosure getting out of the house. So I had all these things on my mind. I'm going to further my education. I picked out my school. I toured the school. I decided what I was going to do, and I'm going to do it no matter what. But I also had to decide, what is going to be my housing? What's my father going to do? All of these various things. The outcomes that I drew up in my mind ended up being a lot worse than the outcomes that actually happened. So in that space, I sort of felt the negative stigma surround me about what could possibly happen in these scenarios and these circumstances. And what did end up happening? Well, I accomplished my goals. My father was okay. He's better than he's ever been at this very moment. And those rough patches, all they were just a speed bump. So what lessons did I learn from this adversity that I faced? Well, I learned that there was more adversity to come, but my mind shift began to switch because going through those things, it kind of built a shell around me. It built like this wall around me that made adversity or difficulties easier to handle, almost like I was building a tolerance to it. And it became factual because after I got out of the house, I ended up finding a full-time job. I ended up going to school, doing all of that. So it was wake up in the morning, go to school, go to work, do my schoolwork, wake up in the morning, go to school, go to work, do my schoolwork, and then somehow in between I had to balance my social life and everything else, which, you end up trying to find that balance. And there's times in your life where it's going to be a little bit easier and a little bit harder to find that balance, but you make it work. And once I had that shell around me from getting out and starting on my own and then facing the reality that I'm going to have to pay my own rent, I'm going to have to pay for my own food, my own car, my own insurance, my phone, all of the things that adults do, having to grow up quick and just do it with really nobody else to depend on. Yeah, it builds like this outer shell that makes you more tolerant to difficult things to come, especially when you're facing those difficult things and the outcomes that you drew in your mind are basically nothing like what ends up actually happening. What ends up actually happening is generally better than the outcomes that I drew in my mind. And I need to state something about that. I really felt like after going through all of those things, I felt like it wasn't very healthy for me to sit around and to dwell on outcomes that haven't happened yet. To worry about those things created more and more adversity within me than I really ever needed. And thinking about those outcomes were actually far worse for me than facing a problem and solving it. Because dwelling on those negative outcomes gets you in a really, really harsh mindset. And it makes it difficult because you're focusing on the outcome rather than the task in hand or the goal that you're trying to achieve. And the thing is, adversity is not the killer of motivation. Adversity is actually the tool used to drive motivation. The lack of discipline would be the killer of motivation. How does that drive motivation? How does adversity drive motivation? Well, there are instances where you can either choose your adversity or it's unexpected adversity. And in the case of unexpected adversity, you're forced into this situation, right? You're forced into these circumstances where you really need to solve this problem. You don't have any other way around it. And it's a driver for motivation because you have no choice. And what that leads to for a lot of people is they get used to it and they decide that they want to voluntarily find adversities in their life because they knew that once the outcome happened where they were forced to face this situation and they saw the positive outcome from it, the achievement that they sought when they were in the middle of their difficulty, it ends up coming back to them. Well, when I say them, I'm more so talking about myself. At least that was with my experiences. I would definitely love to hear about other people's experiences with it and what they feel about adversity, because there are a lot of things that I feel like I could learn from other people when they face it, because not everybody faces it the same. It isn't going to be the same for everybody. Some people, they don't have to face so much of it. It's not on a grander scale, but everybody has their problems. But I have a sort of opinion about it where if you are going through your life and you're not facing a ton of adversity in your life, especially in developmental stages and further on, I feel like when something really substantial does happen, it tends to be harder on you to try and face that problem or face that adversity rather than if it's been building on you and you face tougher problems, it's more of something that you could possibly shrug off. And the reason why is kind of in the experiences of it. So what do I mean by that? Well, on my accounts, when I've faced tougher adversity, it kind of opened things up for me to where I was facing better outcomes. When I voluntarily decided to do things that were difficult for me to get out of my comfort zone, I was facing better outcomes. So let's say I voluntarily look for a challenge and I have a goal in mind. But then something else comes up and it makes it even more difficult for me to gauge the problem or to get to my goal. Well, then I'm sitting there basically having to brainstorm my way through this thing or making the choice to give up on it entirely. As long as I didn't give up on it and I thought about what could be done and I decided to take action, it led me to a place where the finalized outcome ended up being better than the original goal. I ended up either networking with different people that brought me to a better outcome, or it switched the goal entirely and it brought it up to a next level. I'm going to kind of dive a little bit into like a minuscule example of something that people might face when it comes to adversity. So for me, I'll resort back to a form of exercise. So growing up, I never was like the type of person who would want to bow down and do a bunch of push-ups. I never really liked them. I don't know. I couldn't do many of them, all of these things. And I kind of made a lot of excuses to why, I'm not going to do push-ups. I'm going to do other things. I'm going to do a lot of cardio. I'm going to use free weights or something else. I'm going to get into something else, do something else. Well, one day, I decided I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to do more push-ups than I would normally be doing, especially in the fact that I wasn't really doing any at all. So I was like, I'm just going to just do this. I have a goal in mind. We're going to see where it leads and how I feel. What can it hurt? In my experience, it can only be a good thing. It could be a better thing, right? So I decided to do it. And right off the bat, I made up my mind that this is something I don't enjoy in the first place. So the way I'm going to have to do this is I'm going to have to break this down into small steps. And from my experiences, any other voluntary adversity or any type of adversity, period, is a lot easier to handle if you break it down into small steps. If you have a problem with your vehicle and it's something that you need to take care of sooner rather than later because of money, because of time, because of having to get to work, because of people depending on you, you could break it down into steps. If you aren't mechanically inclined, you can ask yourself questions that will get you towards your financial goal to getting that fixed. Or if you are mechanically inclined, you can break it down into different smaller steps to get you towards getting that fixed. Identify the problem. Get the part you need. Acquire the tools that you need to do it. Take this bolt out. Replace that part, so on and so forth. You get where I'm going at. So to get back to the smaller steps thing on my exercise goal or my push-up goal is, I'm going to do maybe 5 at a time up until 15. I'll do 10 at a time up until 20. And then I got to this point to where I was like, okay, I'm going to add a little bit of adversity to the broken down goal that I have. I decided I'm going to do 80 a day. I built myself up to the point to where I'm like, I'm going to do 80 a day no matter what. But I'm going to split it up. So I do 40 in the morning and 40 in the evening. Well, if I'm breaking down that goal, or I'm breaking down my adversity, and then all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, okay, Jesse, how is this creating new adversity? Well, it is, because even though I made it simpler to get the overall goal done, I still have to wake up early in the morning, earlier than I normally was, in order to get half of my goal done. Adversity. I still have the same amount of things to do in the evening, plus the added 40 of these push-ups. So I'm taking less time, or I have less time in my evenings. But if I'm waking up early, do I need to adapt to go to bed earlier? to wake up early, to feel refreshed enough, to get up, to stretch, to get ready, to do it, and then get on with my day. Well, you figure all of that out. I figured all of that out. I did it. And achieving something like that does so much for your day. Voluntarily finding some form of difficulty before you even start your day, a lot of the time has made my day more productive, more efficient. I'm in a better mood. Helps me find and seek other opportunities. So it was a great thing for me to do. If you're the type of person where you can actually go all out and just hit that goal all at once, great. But most people will burn that wick and they'll fall well short of their goals. Or maybe they'll meet their goals for a limited amount of time and then it'll fall off. You know, me, I'm not personally the type of person who can just go 110% on a goal and completely stick with it. For like something in this case, it could actually cause injury. It could cause other problems. So I never really went forward with that. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of people in my life who I've learned a lot from about facing adversity or difficulties. And some of them turn a new leaf in magnificent ways because I've had people in my life who've created self-inflicted challenges in their lives, and I've seen them go on to be incredible people who've done incredible things and have incredible spouses and wonderful friends and family who love and support them. And I've seen people who have also given up because of adversity, and life is a lot more difficult for them because of it. So basically, the lesson in adversity that I'm trying to establish or that I'm trying to get out there is, if you are facing something extremely difficult or moderately difficult or even mildly difficult, if you use cognition, if you just use everything that you have, lay it all out on the table, break the problem down into small incremental steps, work towards that end goal to solve this problem, you're going to feel a sense of achievement that is unbelievable. You're going to feel a sense of living, and you're going to feel like you can take on the world, you can do anything. A lot of people have been through a lot of difficult things, and sometimes too much of it without the rest can break a person down. So if you're going through a lot of different things, not just the incremental steps to achieve the goal, it is absolutely okay to take a step back and to reflect. To sit there and not do a goddamn thing and just think about nothing or try to think about nothing. Just rest, to allow yourself to come away from whatever it is. Because that may be the boost that you need to get back into it and get that problem solved. Also, never feel like you have to be alone. So many people out there that would be sitting there feel like with this problem they are so alone. If you do some reflecting and pick up on little signs of anyone who's in your life, anyone at all, it could be acquaintances, because acquaintances can become friends and friends can become family. But if you just take the time to reflect on whatever problem is that you're having, and you think about these small signs of something somebody might have said in passing, or a friend has talked to you about, or you've opened up to a friend and they've shown concern or they've shown like they care, those are people that you can go to for at least a conversation. Because it's wonderful what conversations can bring. Because if you open up about certain problems, they can give you ideas that you maybe have never thought of before. Or most of the time, people want to help. Most of the time when you're not asking for help, but you come out and you open up about whatever it is that you might be going through, they'll want to help. They'll like offer it up. There was a point in my life like for like a lot of my early adulthood and even in my teenage years, I was the type of person who was like, I'm just going to face every problem alone. I'm not going to talk to anybody about whatever it is going on. I've got these problems. Nobody wants to hear them. Nobody wants anything to do with them. I'm just going to handle it. But then all this pressure builds up. Yes, the adversity, am I saying it's necessary? Oh yeah, it's necessary, but I'm also saying that it doesn't have to be done alone. You don't have to do it alone. This isn't like a talk about, oh, just face it on your own. Absolutely not. I had trouble asking for help, and that's where the pressure gets to build, and it's too high, it's too much to handle. And you kind of break down, and then you regroup, and then you try to do it again, and you break down, and you regroup, and it's kind of like this endless cycle. And eventually you get through it, and you feel the achievement, and you feel the positive net benefits of it. But those positive net benefits that I feel from adversity today did not come without looking myself in the mirror and telling myself, I need to be able to open up to people, and I need to be able to accept the help through the problem, talking, whatever it may be. After I realized that, I finally knew that these are going to be positive net benefits in my life facing these challenges. And then I started to seek them. And then I started gathering thoughts of new goals that I would have for myself that would ultimately bring this adversity, but bring me to a better place. I would grow. I would get stronger in this way. I would have better aspects. I'd be able to network with people and get to know amazing people and do these amazing things in my life because I decided to chase my dream, although it had so much adversity. So that is one thing to consider. And one thing to really hold on to is that you are not alone in facing this. If you're facing any type of adversity that you feel like you need to open up about, you are not alone. There's going to be somebody in passing, an acquaintance, somebody who can become your friend, somebody who is your friend, somebody who is your family, somebody that you know, that you can just break the ice and have a conversation with. They're going to typically want to help. People typically want to help. I know when I look at myself in this way, when people are reaching out about things, I definitely feel like I want to help. And I feel like if I'm always being denied help from this person that I care about, I feel like a disservice is being brought to me. Like, I want to be useful to people that I love. I want to be able to build things and grow and make these people feel like they have people in their surrounding circle that they can count on, that I can count on as well. Because that's what humanity really is down to its core. We would not have made it this far if it weren't for people helping other people out. If everyone was just stuck handling problems on their own, I wouldn't even have a camera to talk into right now. We would not progress anywhere. And we might not even be here. Because, you know, as sad as it is to say, you know, we have our intelligence and we have our social aspects and our communication. That's what helps us survive. We don't have what apex predators have in the sense of big teeth and big claws and fast and strong. We became the best because, I shouldn't say the best, but the most progressive species on this planet because of our intelligence, because our ability to have community sense and ask for help while facing adversity. And right now, I feel like adversity is a little bit harder to find, or it comes in much different ways. Because it used to be literally in the form of survival, as in, I may not eat if I don't catch my food. Different adversity today. Fortunate to be where I currently am, and grateful to be currently where I am. But I know more will be to come, and I'm thankful for the experiences that I actually had facing all of this adversity that I did have. So, you know, to get to other things related on this topic, there's not a whole lot more that I have to say about adversity or defining help if you need help or if you need to seek something. There's certain times where you'll want to do it on your own, where you'll feel the need to be on your own to do it. There's plenty of problems that I've had that were that way because I was like, I'm going to feel a great sense of achievement if I have this. But it really never is pride. It's just, it's like, man, I just really want to do this. This is something that I want to, knock off my bucket list or to say I've been able to do or to do because it's going to be better for other people as well as myself. And that's simply all there has ever been to it. And then on the other spectrum, there's stuff that has happened where I'm like, I'm going to have to do this. I don't have any help. I don't have any choice, rather. And when those types of things come up, like I said, never used to be, but now it's like, okay, well, I am going to talk to someone, or talk to people and get their idea on how they would solve this problem. Sometimes it comes in the form of ideas. Sometimes it comes in the form of physical help. And I'm fortunate enough to have the people in my life who openly express, hey, if you need me, I am there. And you pay attention, we have those people in our lives, and it's something great to hold on to. So this has been a little bit of a shorter podcast tonight, but I just wanted to touch on all of these things because I really felt like that these were really important things to talk about, and that I kind of felt this thing in the back of my mind that there's a lot of people out there that's facing challenges or facing troubles and facing adversity, and they may not be steered in the right direction as far as, oh no, why me? Instead of that mindset, say, okay, good. What opportunities, what lessons, what things that are going to be so good and motivational about this? What is going to come of this? Because you sit down, you think, you spread those problems, this big problem out into smaller incremental steps, and you'll see yourself in an outcome that you didn't expect. And a lot of the times it's going to be absolutely positive. How could it not be when you're solving a problem? So it tends to be that. And then the other side of the coin is, even though I'm expressing this great sense of achievement from solving these problems, it's also important to note that there are people in your life that are willing to help you and wanting to help you. And it would actually be a disservice if you didn't open up to them, because I used to be one of those shut-in people that would never want to talk to anybody about what was going on or about what problems I needed to face. And once I reflected on them, sat down, looked myself in the mirror, and realized I need to do this. And then I end up doing it. I end up reaching out to people to get ideas, to get physical help for things, all of these other reasons. And that's when I noticed, and that's when it really started to come to light that there are positive net benefits to adversity. And then from there, I really started to seek them because they gave me the formula of everything I needed to do in order to achieve goals, to get to where I want to be, and to feel grateful and have gratitude for everything that I have and wherever I have gone. And so I'm so grateful for the adversity. So again, if you have any suggestions or if you have any questions or want to talk about any of the things that I just discussed, you can email me at noroomforcomfortpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to see those emails come in. Again, lives on YouTube and Twitch. I will be publishing this video and audio on Spotify. No Room for Comfort podcast is on Spotify. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I have a Discord server open, as well as a TikTok account. So you can find all my socials in the bio. So go check those out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate everyone joining tonight on No Room for Comfort. I will see you next time.